Hey guys, what's up? This is Mel, and I'm here to talk about The Vampire Diaries, episode 715, titled I Would For You, which premiered Friday, March 4th, 2016 on the CW. Guys, so much happened in this episode, and it really sucks that this is the one episode before the hiatus, but let's get right into it. 10 minutes on the clock, and let's begin. So something new that we learned in this episode, many things happened, actually. So first, let's talk about Damon and Bonnie. So basically, Damon and Bonnie discover the inner workings of Rayna Cruz. So basically, since Rayna's life is tied to the lives of the shaman that sacrificed themselves, 8 shaman means that Rayna has 8 lives. However, with every resurrection, she grows stronger. Makes sense. However, if she dies that final time, everyone that's marked by her phoenix sword will die with her. So, Damon's plan was to just kill her until he figured out a way that could kill her permanently. However, until Bonnie told him that she has 8 lives, he was just going to kill her how many times until she uses all of them up. However, when he finds out that Stefan's going to die the moment she dies, that final time, he's rushing to save her. So that's put a little roadblock in his plans, unfortunately. So there's that for them. Also, we see Stefan and Valerie on the run together trying to find the anti-magic herbs that Freya used to put this paste over Stefan's phoenix mark so that it would stop Rayna from tracking him. Unfortunately, someone stole the herbs, and they were pretty rare. And just after finding that out, Stefan has this brush with death because Rayna was very close to dying that last time before Damon dug her up. Also in Dallas, we see Caroline and Alaric try to deal with taking care of the twins. We see diaper duty, we see bottle duty, we see calm naps, and we see but ultimately it looks like Caroline is deciding to stay in Dallas. She even asked Stefan what he thought of moving to Dallas and everything like that, especially when he asked if she wanted to come on the road with him so that they could spend time together and treat it like a road trip. So, in the end, when Stefan sees Caroline with the twins and with Alaric, he decides to leave her behind so that she can be happy with the twins, knowing that he can't bring the danger that comes with Rayna to the lives of her and the twins. Also, we learned that from the Armory, they not only have a high priority interest in Rayna, but they also have Bonnie as their second priority. So it's a little iffy on why that is, but apparently we're going to get to know that later on. Also, surprising thing from Matt is that he takes a stand against Stefan and blackmails him out of Mystic Falls, and he extends that to Damon as well. So, he's finally decided to make a stand, and I'm not really liking that, but whatever, I'll get into that later. So ultimately, after dealing with all of Rayna, Damon decided during Bonnie's hospital visit in the last episode that he needed to take himself out of the equation if he wanted to save Bonnie, Stefan, and anyone else who's going to risk their lives to save him. So he decides to desiccate himself and wait in a coffin beside Elena until she woke up. So Damon has letters for Bonnie, Alaric, and Stefan ready, and he tells the news to Stefan first. Stefan doesn't like it. Doesn't like the fact that Damon is going to leave him when Stefan sacrificed everything for Damon. So basically, those words weren't very good between them. It looks like Stefan delivered Damon's letter to Alaric as well as a bottle of bourbon back in Dallas. And we hear the voiceover of Damon's letter to Alaric and how he feels miserable without Elena, and how he doesn't think he should be living without her and stuff like that. So he's willing to wait and put his life on hold until she comes back. And then we get Bonnie, who pretty much hunts Damon down after learning from Enzo that Damon wanted Elena's coffin. And Bonnie tells Damon flat out that him desiccating himself is hurting her because essentially for Bonnie, if Damon's not going to wake up until Elena wakes up, that means Bonnie is going to be dead when that happens. So essentially that is going to be the last time Bonnie's going to see Damon, who has become her best friend. So she's very upset about that. So he goes through with it, and we are jumped forward 3 years later. The flash forwards we've been seeing all through the first half of this season, we see a rushed summary of them all in order until we come to the very end, where we see Stefan now tied up in the TV studio with Rayna making an offer to him, and that is to switch the Phoenix mark from Stefan onto its rightful owner, and that is Damon. Stefan refuses before he is told that it was Damon's idea to make this switch, and that's how the episode ends. So we are now 3 years into the future, so that should put us in 2016 in the Vampire Diaries world now. So what was the most shocking moment of the episode? It has to be the fact for me that Damon actually offered to take the Phoenix mark in Stefan's place. I mean, yes, it makes sense in a way because Damon would do anything for Stefan. He tried to do everything he could to save Stefan from Rayna, but I'm surprised that he would take the mark himself, because he knows that now if his mark is going to be tied to Rayna's, then if anything happened to Rayna, then he can't reunite with Elena. So it's surprising that it came down to that, and it took 3 years for Damon to make that kind of offer, I guess you could say. So there's that. Moving on though, top 3 favorite moments. First one has to be Damon the matchmaker with Rayna. Okay, so this whole part with Damon and Rayna, I actually like it because for one, Damon keeps bringing up the fact that Rayna looks eerily similar to Elena. I like that he keeps bringing that up, and the fact that it's not being just forgotten or ignored or anything like that. So there's that. Also, with Damon, I like that he is trying every possible way to kill Rayna and seeing which sticks. Because quite frankly, I keep wondering, if she's still human and she can still die, then what way does she have to die in order for her to stay dead? So we already saw her being thrown into a tree and having her back broken. We saw that through Klaus killing her in the last week. We saw Enzo killing old Rayna by stabbing her in the neck. And then we see today with Damon ripping out her heart, and then later chopping her up into pieces, wrapping them in bags, and then dumping it at the bottom of the well, only for all those pieces to burst into flames on their own and reborn Rayna into fully naked human again. So chopping her up didn't do anything. I know that sounds really bad, but it's a supernatural world, so you gotta get used to the norm in the supernatural world here. So chopping her up didn't do anything. Ripping her heart didn't do anything. I'm pretty sure decapitation won't do anything because he'd already chopped her up and that did nothing. So he tried. Actually, the next thing he did was bury her so that when she woke up, she'd suffocate, and then that would be her last death. But he had to go dig her up again because he learned about the 8 lives. But I really like the fact that Damon was trying different ways to figure out how he can kill her before realizing she only had the 8 lives. And I like this because I kept wondering, how are you going to stop her? He even separated the sword from her, too, so at least he kept that in mind. So I just like that. And then also when he was passing the time, he kept wondering what drove Rayna. Why was she so intent on killing the vampires or capturing the vampires? He even brought up the fact that he was temporarily changed because of the love he found in Elena, and wondered if Rayna could find the same thing. Found out she did have a vampire lover before she killed him. So I don't know, I just really liked the effort Damon put in trying to figure out Rayna and try to figure out how to stop her. So there's that. Another favorite moment for me has to be that quick flash-forward summary we get of all 14 flash-forward scenes we've gotten so far, all shown at once, and then we get the additional 15th scene at the very end. I really like that. I wasn't expecting it, and it was a great reminder, for sure, of what we have seen so far. A few of them were missing, for sure, or a few of them were cut down, but you got it. It helped jog the memory, for sure. And the last favorite moment I liked was Damon's goodbyes to Stefan, Alaric, and Bonnie. All powerful in their own right, and all with different reactions, for sure. We got Stefan, who was furious, who didn't want his brother to leave him. He didn't like the idea, but Damon didn't think anything wrong of it because they were vampires. They have the next 60 years to make up for it later on and stuff like that. It's just, you get the brother interaction between them, and I like the reaction. I like that Stefan wasn't on board with this. He didn't want to see his brother gone, when before, if it was back in season 1 and Damon decided to do this, Stefan wouldn't care. He just wanted him out of his life. So it showed how far they truly came, and I really like the fact that he didn't want to see his brother go. And then we get Alaric. Of course, with Alaric, you get Damon's actual words being said from the goodbye letter. You don't actually see Alaric's reaction because the twins come in. But I really love what was being said in the letter. Damon talked about how what he realized life had become. There's a timer. What life had become without Elena, and how once he realized what love was from her, that now that he didn't have it anymore because she's not there, he felt miserable. He didn't want to continue living like she wished he would. But you can't really ask someone to do that if they truly love you and all that. I mean, like with Damon, yeah. Anyways, really like the words said in the letter. I definitely have to go find that letter later on. And then there's Bonnie's. Now, Bonnie's reaction to Damon's decision was truly powerful. Because, again, their relationship since season 1 has never been on good terms. And this truly showed how far they've come. They're actually friends now. They're best friends now, and they definitely don't want to kill each other. They're trying to save each other and trying to do everything they can. But it's because of that's why Damon wants to take himself out of the equation. But Bonnie doesn't want to have that, because essentially, when Damon's going to wake up, that's when Elena is alive, which means that Bonnie is dead. Bonnie can't handle the fact that she's going to be losing another friend when essentially she already lost her best friend in Elena, because Elena is asleep because of her. So I really like the power and the emotion behind Bonnie telling Damon that she is not okay with this decision and that he is hurting her by doing this. So yeah, I just really like that for sure. Okay, top 3 peeved moments. Yeah, I have them. Okay, first off, there was no mention in this episode of the fact that Klaus' Sireline was broken. And yet they mentioned repeatedly about Freya's anti-magic herbs for Stefan's chest. I mean, in the part 2 of the crossover event last week, we saw Klaus' Sireline being broken, and we saw Stefan being affected by that. So we got confirmation that Stefan is part of Klaus' Sireline, or he was part of Klaus' Sireline. Therefore, Damon is also part of it. Therefore, Caroline is also part of it. And yet in this episode, we got no mention of the fact that they were free from Klaus' Sireline. Nothing whatsoever. And that irritated me so much, because it's such a crucial fact that they needed to know. That their lives were no longer tied to Klaus's. And it just bothered me that it was never brought up. And yet Freya's anti-magic herbs were. And I was like, okay, that's it? You're not going to talk about the bigger picture here? It's like, that just bugged me. Another peeved moment was the fact that we couldn't actually kill Rayna, because if we killed Rayna, that meant Stefan died. Because, I mean, for once, can we just kill an enemy on this show without something else getting in our way? I mean, Catherine. In season 1 and season 2. They could have killed Catherine so many times, and yet they didn't, because she held so many secrets that affected them. She had so many other plans that were in motion that would have affected them if something were to happen to her. So they couldn't kill Catherine because of that. Okay, and then there was Klaus. So many times, season 2 and season 3, they tried to kill Klaus, but they couldn't, because they learned of the whole Sireline issue, and the fact that if they killed Klaus, they had a 1 in 5 chance of killing all their friends. And then once they found out that Klaus was supposedly their sire, they couldn't do anything about it. They couldn't kill him. So it's like, there's another one right there. Brotherhood of the Five. All those hunters that came after them. Connor. Vaughn. All of them. They couldn't easily kill them, or the supernatural beings couldn't do it because of the hunter's curse. So that's another thing stopping them from killing him. So that's another thing. Rayna today. Couldn't kill Rayna because that meant Stefan would die because of the link with the Phoenix mark. Right there. And then there's Kai. You couldn't kill Kai, especially after he became leader of the Gemini Coven, because killing Kai meant killing every witch in the Gemini Coven, which meant Liv, which meant Luke, which meant Joe. So it's like, is, for once, on the Vampire Diaries, can we just kill a bad guy and not have to worry about the connected repercussions afterwards? I mean, on the originals, they're killing everybody and then dealing with the repercussions afterwards. They just kill their enemy without any real issue, unless they think there's another diabolical plan in hiding from them if they happen to kill them. Like, you know what I mean? It just really irritated me that once again we couldn't kill a major threat as easily as just getting the opportunity to go in for the kill. Instead, something else had to be stopping them. And it just really frustrated me, because we basically had that in some form in every past season. And yeah. Last Pede moment. Matt, he's still bugging me. I really don't like him. He's truly become so annoying right now that I really wish he would just leave town. I mean, why does he want to stay in a deserted Mystic Falls, which is pretty much a supernatural epicenter? Every vampire, every werewolf is drawn to Mystic Falls, so why not just leave town if you want nothing to do with the supernatural? Why kick out Stefan and Damon, who actually lived there a hell of a lot longer than you have? And why not just go off with your new soon-to-be girlfriend Penny and go live somewhere else? Start brand new. Nothing is truly tying you to a ghost town of Mystic Falls. Why are you making an effort to keep it? It makes no sense. So Matt has truly just been so annoying to me. So annoying. And he's going to remain a peeve of mine for sure. I'll let you know right now. So what moment will I remember most when I look back on the episode? This episode is when the present day meet the future, as it were. Because now it quickly jumpstarts right in the middle of the episode itself, 3 years. So usually we just start off right off the bat if it's going to be a time jump. But yeah, it's done differently this time. So moving on to random questions. I know I'm going longer than I'm supposed to, but can't help it. First question. In regards to figure out what happens in the last 3 years, will we learn all that when Damon does, since he's the one that's going to be needing all the catch-up and stuff? Also, what do you think is going to be the stories he's going to learn about the last 3 years? Because we've seen snippets about what's happening. Bonnie and Enzo, Alaric and Caroline, Stefan and Valerie, Matt working with Rayna, Matt's supposedly dead girlfriend too. So yeah, here's all that. Next question. With such a massive time jump in this episode, 3 years, do you think we'd get flashbacks from within those 3 years? I hope so, because I'd hate to just be stuck with like the end product of like Enzo and Bonnie or Alaric and Caroline. I want to see those milestone moments that made them go from being just friends in both situations to being more than just friends, to being engaged, to being together, to like, I want to see those milestone moments. I don't want to see just point A and point B and not the journey between them. No? So yeah. Next question. Stefan was able to evade Rayna for 3 years. So does that mean she escaped the Armory shortly after they captured her in the present day, which was before Damon desiccated himself? If she managed to escape shortly after being captured, the Armory is not really doing its job, for sure. Last question. Also, why do you think the Armory wants Bonnie as their next top priority after Rayna was captured? I don't like the sounds of that. I fear for Bonnie. I hope she watches her back, especially if Damon's not going to be there to watch it for her. Maybe that's how she and Enzo got closer. Who knows? But moving on to predictions very quickly. So basically, with the promo for episode 716 shows that we won't get it until April 1st. So that's pretty much a month away. So yeah, there's lots of time to reel over the fact of what has happened, create our own theories and whatnot, and see what happens there. But from the looks of the promo, it looks like Rayna is trying to convince Stefan to swap places with Damon, to have her transfer the Phoenix Mark onto Damon so that she can leave Stefan alone and deal with Damon. Although I don't get why she doesn't just kill Stefan to begin with. Really, I don't. And also, since we know from the flash forward that Matt's girlfriend's dead, I'm still thinking it's Penny that was the girlfriend. Maybe we'll see what caused Matt to side with Rayna, and it turns out Stefan is involved somehow. So, because in the promo it said like ask Stefan or something like that. So there's that, and that's about it. So what did you guys think of the episode? What did you like? What shocked you? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. Also, if you want to check out a more in-depth recap of the episode, a step-by-step, if you will, check out my live journal account. The link for that will be down below. Also, if you want more news or info about the Vampire Diaries, I reblog all of it on Tumblr. That's promos, sneak peeks, web clips, quotes, GIFs, dialogue stuff, anything like that that comes across my Tumblr. I reblog all of it, so a link for that is down below, both for this specific episode and for the whole Vampire Diaries related tags as well, so check that out. And that's about it. So guys, I guess you won't be hearing back from me until April 1st, so until then, this is Mel, wishing you a great day, great week, great month, and until then, bye for now.